You might have noticed on your attendance card also that there is a space to write a question. We call this Curious Faith Questions. It's an opportunity for a little bit of dialogue between the congregation and myself and the Bible, and it's a great way to explore and to realize that we don't have all the answers. We're exploring together this faith and finding the answers together. And so if you have a question of faith, whether it's about the church, about the Bible, about God, please go ahead and write that down. I try to sift through them, try to match them up with the themes of worship as we go along. It also is a way to get you wondering, maybe Christian's going to answer that question I wrote, so you come every Sunday and find out. No, but it is a great way to have this dialogue. And I think on this particular Sunday, although there are many questions that people ask, the question that comes up on this particular Sunday is always, is resurrection real? Right? Or is it just a metaphor we use to feel better, right? Well, here's an honest answer. Those earliest followers of Jesus Christ in that first century in Israel didn't have a lot of wishful thinking at that time. Most of them were Jewish men and women who were living under Roman occupation and had just watched their teacher, their rabbi, executed as a criminal. The last thing that they were expecting was resurrection. The last thing that they were looking for was a reason to feel better. Those women who were going to the tomb were not expecting to find it open and empty. They were expecting to find a body to care for, to follow their regular ritual practices. But something happened that day that turned these feelings of being terrified, those who are hiding, those who had scattered, those who were also willing to die for what they had witnessed. Something happened on that day. Paul writes that 20 years later that he has talked to many who had accounted for the risen Christ. They had seen it, including over 500 people all at once. He says most of them are still alive even. You can go and ask them what they saw. First-hand accounts of something that changed, of Christ alive again. Is it a metaphor? Well, resurrection does carry a lot of metaphors for us. New life, hope emerging from death, love that can't be contained. All of that is real and true. But the Christian claim is something way more than just a metaphor. It is something that happened in that garden outside Jerusalem on a Sunday morning that changed the direction of all history. And we're here 2,000 years later because the people who witnessed something back then could not stop talking about it, and it's lasted to this moment so that we can share the story once again. I believe it's a gift that we have multiple gospel accounts of Jesus appearing. Jesus appearing first to the disciples so that he could show the wounds on his hands and on his feet, while at the same time we have wonderful encounters on a walk and on a meal on a beach, where his presence was not maybe a physical identification of Jesus, but a spiritual one. That person who's breaking bread, that's like Christ. Christ is here among us. Christ returns to us in all the ways that we need. And sometimes it's metaphor, and sometimes it's the real presence of Christ. Let us be looking for how Christ is resurrected in our lives today, even 2,000 years later. And I have a feeling you'll know when you see it, and you will believe in resurrection. I feel like I just gave my sermon. Amen? Amen.